Hi, teacher. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Susan. Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
How to talk about the past. Past simple used to
Past.
Past simple used to would.
Would. Okay.
Not like will. Different meaning of would. Different meaning of would. How are you guys? How are you?
Will the past.
No. Not the past of will.
Will future.
Will.
Yeah, would is would sometimes is the past of will, but not in this case.
Yeah.
Not in this case. How are you guys? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah.
Not special.
Nothing
So.
special.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah, every day is kind of so, right?
Yeah. Long time at home.
Everybody's the same, Susan. Everybody's the same.
Long time stay home.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we hope that changes soon. We hope that changes.
Yeah.
Soon.
Today the Singapore minister as the how to say Li Xianlong was because he isn't the president. Minister.
The prime minister.
Prime
Hi,
Minister.
Hi.
Nicholas, you go back to China?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Li, with China, very nice.
Yeah, now is a good time, right? The summer, good weather. Nicholas, where are you?
I'm in China now.
Oh,
China's really, really big. So which part of China?
You stay in hotel for quarantine 14 days?
14, yes, 14. 14 days.
14 days.
Stay hotel, stay safe for 14 days.
No
That's
choice.
Right?
You don't want to bring the coronavirus from Singapore to China.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But they want to change the rules. Just test and you don't need to stay quarantine 14 days.
No.
Oh, okay.
I still should stay quarantined for 14 days.
Did you get tested?
You mean
No.
a little stick to your nose? Yeah.
Oh, you got tested. Wow.
I thought.
Cool. That's called it's not a stick, it's called a swab.
Yeah. Okay.
Swab means
Swab. Goes in your nose.
Swab.
Test it.
Swab.
Swab. Oh.
Swab.
Hi, Yukiko.
Hi.
How are you?
Not bad.
Not bad. All right, nice. Hey, Nicholas, do you like the movie Frozen? Yeah, good. The past is in the past. Let it go. Let it go. No. Yukiko knows the song. Yeah, she's laughing. I listen to that song like every day because I have 2 young daughters and I listen to Frozen music all the time, which is fine. Okay, so actually we don't have a lot to talk about today, so we'll quickly quickly go through the grammar, and then if you guys have any questions, we can talk about that as well. And she's not sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. And then we'll wrap it up. So Nicholas, thank you for coming, because usually you don't come. All right. So
now it's my summer holiday for me, so I have free time.
Yep, nice. So free time, study English. Good boy. Good boy. Wow.
Oh, you just stay alone. Anyone cannot. For example, your parents cannot go to the hotel for take care of you.
No, my mom is beside me.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hi, Mom.
We can together.
Oh,
okay. Nice. Okay, so hi, Emma. So we're gonna talk about the past. Okay, so this is actually quite easy. You'll first see this in like pre-intermediate with used to, and then probably intermediate with would. They do have similar meaning when we talk about the past. Okay, so just again, would does not equal will. Okay, would does not equal will. Okay, in this case, kind of a different meaning. Okay, would does not equal will. All right. Wow, very long time no see. How Joe Bujian?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, hello everyone. So I'm good.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I think just 1 week. So last week I was in Mark's class.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting. What do you mean? You can go to both classes. You don't have to choose. You can go 5 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes I just choose some class. So if I
That's fine. That's fine.
If
depending
I'm
on the topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so my topics are not interesting. Okay, thanks, Lei.
Oh,
joke.
I'm not. I'm here.
Joking.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, first we'll talk about past simple. This should be easy for you guys, but here are 3 kind of main reasons why we talk about the past simple. Oops. So to talk about a finished action in the past, okay, a finished action in the past. We'll learn a little bit more, but this is a one-time action. Okay, a one-time action. So for example, I visited a friend yesterday, or I didn't stay in a hotel, or I can ask about the past one-time action. I could say, what did you do last week? What did you do on the weekend? I'm asking you for a one-time past action. All right, so probably more difficult when we talk about narrative tenses. So past simple, past continuous, past perfect. Why do we use the past simple? Okay, we use the past simple to talk about the main event in a story. Okay, the main event in the story, right? The accident happened, the man died, the hotel, I don't want to say hotel because Nicholas is in a hotel right now, but something about the main action, right? I broke my leg, or I did this, or I met that person. When we talk about the main action of a story. So in this case, right, we're generally going to use this with past continuous, something that looks like this, right? So something that I was doing and then the main action happened, right? So this would be the main action, and this would be like the background. Right, the background action. So 6 years ago, I broke my leg. So I can say I broke my leg. And if I want to find out how or why or what is the background, then in this case, I use ing when when I was playing baseball. Okay, so I broke my leg. Of course, this is the main event, and then I was playing baseball is just the secondary event, or this is how we describe the situation. So often we use past continuous, talk about like weather. It was snowing, or the sun was shining, or it was raining, something like that. When we talk about weather, it's continuous action. I was driving when I fell asleep, right? So I was driving when I fell asleep. So fall asleep is the main event because that's super dangerous. Driving is something we do every day, right? So it's not really something we would use in this context. Okay. And then the last one is when we talk about a sequence of events. So a sequence means like A, then B, then C, then D, then E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So when I got home, I cooked dinner, I watched TV, I had a shower, and then I went to bed. So this shows us the order of the events, or the sequence of the events. So that's why we use past simple mostly. Does anyone have any questions about past simple? It's easy, right? It's simple. All right. Nicholas is like, totally. All right, good. So used to. All right, so used to is a little bit different. We can go through this together here. We often use to describe a past habit, action, or state. Okay, a past habit, action, or state. So the most important thing about this, right? These are repeated more than one time, more than one time, more than one time. Okay, these are repeated. A habit, you know, I can say I used to bite my nails, right? I used to bite my nails. So used to is very similar to past simple. Okay. Used to is very similar to past simple. I used to live in Canada. Very similar to I lived in Canada. Now, if we look at the difference, okay, what used to does is it gives us information about the past and present. So used to gives us information about the past and the present. So if I use positive used to, it means past yes, now no. So
Yeah.
past yes, now no. So I used to live in Canada. Do I live in Canada now?
No.
No.
Right. But if I say I lived in Canada, right, that doesn't give us the present information, right? So that's slightly different from past simple. All right. And then the negative form, okay, describes an action, state, or habit that was not true in the past. Okay, so it's opposite of this, right? So we didn't used to have YouTube lessons, right? We didn't used to have YouTube lessons. Now we have YouTube lessons. In the past, we didn't have YouTube lessons. So this is very similar to present simple. But if I say we have YouTube lessons, if I use present simple to explain that, we have YouTube lessons, that doesn't give me information about the past. That doesn't tell me that before we didn't have YouTube lessons. So we need to ask for more information. So used to gives us a little bit more information that it also relates to the past a little bit. Does that make sense? Right? So all of us live in Singapore. We can say we didn't used to live in Singapore. All of us, right? So I know, Nicholas, you don't live in Singapore. Well, you do live in Singapore. You're there just temporarily in China. Your home is in Singapore, right? So we didn't used to live in Singapore. Yukiko used to live in Japan. Mike used to live in China. Emma used to live in China. Lei used to live in China. Used to live in Germany. Susan used to live in China. Nicholas used to live in China. Wait, our Chinese students are good, right? Mostly, only one Japanese. No, that's China.
Only Yukiko.
Study hard, I guess. Study hard. All right, and then of course, if we want to ask a question about the past, if we want to ask a question about the past, or past habit, or past state, or past routine, I can say, oh, you know, maybe after the quarantine, you see me and I have a beard. You're like, hey, did you used to have a beard? I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't used to have a beard, right? Now I do. In the past, I didn't. Okay. When you were a child, did you used to ride your bike to school, right? I'm just asking about, now I know you don't ride your bike to school, okay, because you're adults and you're not children and you probably have a car. So I'm going to ask you, and Nicholas, I wouldn't ask you this question because you're still a child, okay, but I can say, when you were a child, did you used to do that? When you lived in China, did you used to do that? When you lived in Japan, did you used to play pachinko? Yukiko, did you used to play pachinko?
No.
No.
Pachinko? What's that mean, Pachinko?
Gambling, like kind of like gambling in Japan,
Oh,
like a small, not casino, but like a video game kind of. I don't know. I don't understand either.
like
But yeah.
Chinese poker.
No, Yukiko, what's pachinko?
Pachinko is a
Mahjong.
game, a small ball game.
Oh,
Small, very, very small ball.
like through a queen.
Yes,
Oh.
this is a.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh. Put in the game. So if you win many, get many balls.
But
So
many bones.
Finish. Change money. Change money. Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
I played this one once in Germany.
Germany.
So
played it in Germany.
Yeah, in cinema.
Maybe we can find it in Singapore.
I've never seen that in Singapore, but maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So any questions about used to, or is that also pretty easy? Used to.
It's okay.
So the opposite or the present is, we can say like usually, right now, right? Right? So this is like now I usually eat healthy food. If we talk about the past, I used to. I used to eat unhealthy food. Now I usually eat healthy food. Kind of opposite.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But I can also say to have the same meaning, right? I didn't used to. Right. So these two have not same, but almost same meaning, right? Similar meaning. I didn't used to eat healthy food. I usually eat healthy food. The top line, the top sentence, I didn't used to eat healthy food, just gives us a little bit more information, right? Because it means now I do. Right? I usually eat healthy food forever, or for 10 years, or for 1 year. It doesn't give us that information.
So I have questions, and I can also use would with infinitive. I mean, for example, if I say I would eat unhealthy food, it also means I'm have it or repeat it in past.
Okay, so just wait. We'll talk about that in a second, because this can have two different meanings. This can have two different meanings, okay? And we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so we'll move on to would. All right, so the big difference here is we can also use would, okay, to describe past actions and habits, but not states.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we can't use would to talk about states. Now, would is a little more formal. Okay, would is a little bit more formal sounding than used to or past simple, but it has the same meaning, right? So after school, I would go home and watch TV. After school, I used to go home and watch TV. After school, I went home and watched TV.
It's same. Okay, yeah.
Same meaning, right? Same
Okay.
meaning. So would, used to, and past simple, if the action is repeated, right?
In past.
Yeah, if the action is repeated, then it's the same, right? So if we
okay.
look at this little table here, right, we have a past repeated habit or action or routine or something like that. We can use past simple, we can use would or used to, and we can use would. And they have the same meaning.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So why?
Because mostly I used used to. So would is not so often. Yeah.
Familiar.
For me. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, the whole point, most people want to study English because they want to sound like or understand native speaker, right? So native speakers, we use all three naturally, and just we change it all the time, right? So an elementary student would never use used to because they have never heard of it before. They'll say I did, I went, I played, I studied. Maybe a pre-intermediate student or an intermediate student say, oh, I played and then I used to study, right? They'll use both of those. And then once you get to upper, maybe advanced, some students will start to use would. So yeah, after school, I would go home and watch TV. When I was younger, I would play hockey all day and not get tired. In the past, horses would be ridden to get from one place to the other. So we can, if we're going to use passive, we'll probably use would, because passive is more formal anyway.
Okay.
So passive is more formal. Would is also more formal. So if we put those together, then it creates a more formal sentence. So if you're reading a newspaper, or you go to a museum, or you go to a history class or something like that, and they're talking about the past, they're probably going to use would because it's a little bit more formal.
Yeah. I see. Thank you.
Back in the day, humans would start fire and cook meat, right? We would say that instead of used to, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, for me, for whatever reason, without this part is really, really important when we use would. I need to have some other clause or some other part of the sentence. I can say I used to go home and watch TV. That sounds very natural for me. But if I remove this, then I don't think I would use would.
Okay.
Because I don't just say I would go home and watch TV. I have to be talking about something, right?
Okay.
But I can just say I used to live in Canada. That's a very natural sentence. I don't have another part of that sentence. It's fine. But with would, you kind of have to add this.
Yeah.
I need this extra information when I use would.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah. For example, in the last year or in the okay.
When I lived in Canada, I would eat fast food more often. When I visited Japan repeatedly, I would always go to the Chinko place, or I would always eat ramen or something like that. I need some extra information or a different clause.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so Lei, you can say, when you lived in Germany, you would eat bratwurst or schnitzel, or you would drink beer more often or something like that, right? But when I lived in Germany, this part for me is important.
Okay, understand. Yeah.
Just for me. So
thank you.
We've talked about this. I think it was Mark talked about like unreal past with wishes and would and things like that. So I can say I would eat unhealthy food, right? So it has two meanings. Is like right? A conditional, right?
Like with
I only eat. Yeah, with if.
You mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, I only eat healthy food, but if I didn't gain weight, I would eat unhealthy food. if I didn't get fat, I would eat unhealthy food. So this would, okay, or we can just say past. Yeah, past repeated action or habit. So kind of different meaning, but these woulds are totally different verbs.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So again, this chart really, really important. I tell my, my lazy students, past simple is always okay. So if you want to be correct, then you can just always use past simple and it will be correct. But again, we can use all three or two or one to talk about different things, and they have a slight different meaning. And again, if you want to sound like a native speaker, then you have to use all three.
Okay.
You have to use all three. That's just kind of the way that it goes, right? So if we look at some examples here, yesterday I went to school. Yesterday I went to school is a one-time action. It's finished. It's yesterday. It's a one-time past action. When I was young, I went. I used to go. I would go to school by bike. Right? I would go to school by bike. It's a repeated action. It's a habit. It's continued. And lastly, when I was in my 20s, I had or I used to have a beard. Okay, I had or I used to have a beard. I can't say I would have a beard. I can't say I would have a beard because having is a state.
Okay, yeah.
Any question? Yukiko? Yukiko's face. 難しい?
Yes.
Yeah, Yukiko, this is totally new information for you, especially would, right? Past simple, maybe okay. Used to, maybe okay. But would is like, why, right? Because most early students, pre-intermediate, think it's this one, right? Future unreal, I would do that. If I had $1 million, I would buy a car, right? So yeah, these two totally different meanings. The would is not the same. Yeah, the would is not the same. Yeah. So like Susan said at the beginning, right? Will does not equal would in this sentence. Okay. So this is not will, it's different would. Different would. This would equals used to. Right?
Oh, sometimes.
Unless it's a state. Right? Unless it's a state verb. So used to and would can be the same meaning. Right? But this doesn't mean will.
Yeah.
Or like would have done. Would have done. Different meaning. I would have eaten that if I had known it was delicious. Different meaning. Yeah. Oh. That's it. And I have one more bonus that is not so easy. I pulled this from the advanced book. We can also use always with past continuous. So was, were, and verb ing. So we can use always with past continuous or present continuous to talk about annoying habits. Something is annoying, something bothers me. So maybe I was the youngest child. Okay, I had 3 siblings, 2 brothers, a sister, and me, right? So I was the youngest. Nicholas, I think only you, right? Do you have a brother or sister, Nicholas?
I think I have a half sister.
You think you have a half sister?
Yeah, I have a half sister.
Nicholas.
I have a half sister.
Okay, but does she live with you? No, right?
Not,
So you're
not often, but
sometimes, right? But in Singapore, you're an only child, right? So like if you're watching TV, you have full control.
Yeah, I have whole control.
Right, exactly. So when I was
Good for
I
you.
was the youngest, I had fourth control. Okay, so if the older brother wanted, and I only had like one TV in my house. I mean, when I was really young, but actually we had a lot of TVs. But so if my brother wanted to watch something, it was his choice. If I wanted to watch something, it was like, go away, right? So I can say maybe I was watching TV, and then I can say, oh, my brother was always changing the channel.
Mm.
He was always changing the channel. So in this case, I'm saying this, and the nuance, the hidden meaning is that it was annoying, right?
Yeah.
I was angry. Ugh. He was always changing the channel, right? So I'm gonna say that like I'm a little bit angry, right? You know, my mom was always telling me to clean my room.
Yeah.
So, Nicholas, do you like cleaning your room?
What?
Do you like cleaning your room? Do you like?
Not. Yeah, I don't like to clean my room.
No, nobody likes to clean their room, right? But maybe your mom's like, Nicholas, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room.
Yeah, always.
You like that?
Already.
You don't like that, right? It's annoying. So you're like, oh, fine, I'll clean my room, right? So when you're older, you don't have to clean your room. It's good. But you can say, my mom was always asking me, always telling me to clean my room, right? Or his teacher was always asking him to clean the blackboard. Only him. So it's annoying, right? This is really, really annoying, right? Actually, we can use this in the present as well. We can use this in the present as well. So,
all these sentences we can use present tense. Past.
right. So usually when we use always, right? Always we use with present simple, right? It always rains.
Yeah.
It's I'm always hungry, something like that. But if we want to say that it's
Annoying. Oh yeah, we use the past P.
right, so annoying habits or repeated actions, right?
Past tense.
Also present, I think. Yeah.
Right? My daughter is always asking to eat sweets, right? She is always asking to eat sweets. Daddy, can I eat sweets? No. Daddy, can I eat sweets? No. Daddy, can I eat sweets? No. Daddy, can no, right? Like it's annoying, right? So it's annoying, right? So same with present, same with past, right? We can say that, right? Is always asking. Oh, that student is always asking questions, right? That student is always asking questions. Maybe the teachers are like, that student is always asking questions, right? Too many questions, right? So we talk about it as like an annoying thing. Okay, so we are always staying home, right? That's annoying right now, right? We are always staying home. So it's not common. And Yukiko, don't use this in your class because you don't learn this at least until upper or advanced. At least until upper or advanced, because it's not so common. And usually we tell you we don't use adverbs of frequency, always, usually, never, right? With ing. But in this case, it's okay. But only if it's an annoying action, right? Okay. Say my husband is always playing video games, right? It's annoying. Right? So people are always following Emma, right? It's annoying.
Is it still happened?
No. I never go out again.
Emma go out sometimes.
No.
Yeah, people are always following her. Strange men. Strange men
It's
are
first
always
time.
following her. Okay, first time. So it's not repeated and it's not a
I
habit.
think it's last time.
First and
yeah,
last
I hope
time.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Those are 3 ways that we can talk about past habits or past routines. Of course, there's many, many different ways we can talk about the past perfect, past continuous, past simple, narrative tenses, past perfect continuous, all that stuff. So does anyone have any questions about anything? Doesn't have to be past.
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
I confused. Are you always absent-minded? But I don't know. I want to use do you always absent-minded?
Why?
I don't know. I think I use always. I should use do. So I always confuse what time I should use are you and do you.
I think sometimes
Sometimes
adjective,
incorrect.
maybe. Oh.
Adjective
Lynn.
and gerund.
Absent mandate. Oh, this adjective.
I think
Yeah, so with-
absent is a verb. Absent-minded adjective. Okay.
Yeah, absent-minded is an adjective.
Same
Absent is also
like-minded.
adjective.
No?
Yeah, like-minded or absent-minded. Absent-minded means like, Singlish blur. Like a little bit stupid, like not stupid, but don't focus or don't concentrate. If you're absent-minded means you don't focus or don't concentrate. And then, you would, but to answer, what's going on my computer? Yeah. So do you mind is because mind is a verb. So we use do in present simple with a verb. Do you play? Do you watch? Do you study? Right.
Okay.
But you don't say like do you handsome, right?
Yeah.
Do you handsome, right? You'd say are you handsome? But I think the problem is absent. You think is a verb, then it's difficult. But good question.
Okay, thank you.
And this is common in Chinese English.
But this do is an oxy word.
Yes. Auxiliary verb. This is not the main verb.
Yeah, auxiliary verb. To help the word.
Yeah, to help the meaning, right? To help the meaning of the sentence.
Yeah, sure.
Chinese also has auxiliary verbs.
You mean Chinese always forgot the auxiliary verbs?
No, Chinese has auxiliary verbs. Just like if you want to talk about like ing, Chinese, right? Zai, right? That's an auxiliary verb. Or life experience, guo. That's also an auxiliary verb.
Wow.
To guola.
I didn't
that's
know.
An auxiliary verb.
Okay.
Well, think about like have you been, right? Have you been? So in English, have you been, right? In Chinese, would be 去过了吗, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Is an auxiliary verb because it changes the Japanese. I don't know. Koto ga arimasu. I don't know if that's an auxiliary verb or not, but I don't know.
Okay.
Koto ga arimasu is for experience, right, Yukiko?
Yes.
I don't know if that's an auxiliary verb or not, but yeah. So Chinese also has, but most native speakers don't understand grammar, just like you guys don't understand. You guys don't understand Chinese grammar or Actually, my Chinese grammar is probably better than your Chinese grammar.
Definitive.
Yeah.
Because you learn
or my
it.
Japanese grammar. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
learned Chinese using grammar. So
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
yeah, subject, verb, object, all that stuff. Yeah. So actually, when I was learning Japanese, being an English teacher gave me an advantage because understanding the grammar is the easiest part for me to learn a new language. So it's actually one good way to understand English grammar is to understand your native grammar. If you want to learn English grammar, then study Chinese grammar.
Yes, I think
Japanese
the same rule and the same sequence.
Similar, very similar. Then English grammar will not be easy, but it will be less confusing. It'll definitely be less confusing.
Yeah.
So I remember that Japanese class very well when we were talking about life experience, and it was like blah 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 koto ga arimasu. And everybody in my class was like, what does this mean? And I was like, oh, life experience, easy, present perfect, same. For me, it was really easy to put those two things together. Japanese is not easy. I just mean that class was easy to understand. So do you guys have any more questions?
So I have small questions. It's not about grammatic. I just I'm very confused. So last time I was in supermarket, so I want to buy a fish. So and I want to ask the guy to help me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, cleaned up. And how can I ask her? I think I cannot say, could you please help me tidy it up? Or how can I see it?
Yeah, actually very good. We just say clean a fish.
Clean? Okay, just clean, okay.
Yeah. Clean the fish up means get rid of the skin, hard skin.
Okay.
Skin, bones, head, right? So, but in English, we say we clean a fish. Just means we cut it, we take out the guts, we take everything out. That's called cleaning a fish.
Oh, okay. Because I think last time I used the, could you please clean it up? And he looks very, so, how can I say? So he looked
confused.
And so, and I think, okay, maybe I need to use another word. And I don't know. But now, so I understand. So next time
you can also say to
Teddy.
Fillet or fillet.
Okay.
Yeah, to fillet a fish means to cut it, take out the guts. Same meaning. So maybe clean, they don't understand. But for you can say, can you fillet this fish or can you fillet this fish for me?
Okay, thank you. It's very useful.
I mean, that's why we want to use English. That's why we want to learn English, right? So we can use it when we go to the supermarket or something like that. It's important.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So interesting.
Went to a supermarket just to see clean. Never add other word.
In
it's
English or in
rude.
Chinese?
Oh, if the salesman he cannot understand Chinese, I just say clean. He or she can understand me. Cannot.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, in English, the longer the sentence, the more polite it is, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Chinese is different, right? I can say like, give me water. Give me water in Chinese, no problem. But in English, we don't say that. Could you please give me some water? Or I would like some water, please. Or
just give me water, please.
Yeah.
So with please, all good. yeah.
Chinese also Japanese like mizu nomitai, right?
Yeah, I think in Japanese is also so. The people use a long sentence and like so more polite.
Yeah, Japanese. Yeah, very polite.
It's good. Yeah.
I mean, it's just different. It's not good or bad. It's just different.
Yeah.
Easy understand is okay.
Yeah, sometimes I like Chinese. So when I was, when I lived in Canada, I was a waiter. So and in Canada, the waiters, we get paid with tips. So we're super friendly. Even though I hate you, I'm going to be really friendly to you, even though I don't like you or I'm tired or I'm lazy. Hey, how are you today? Oh my gosh, your kids are so cute, right? Because I want your money, right?
Yeah.
So then when I first came to Singapore, right, and the auntie's like, what do you want? Right? Which in Chinese, like yao shama, which is fine.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, whoa, this chick's really rude. I don't like her. And then the service here is terrible. The service here is terrible. But now, 13 years, 14 years later,
You understand it.
no, I love it. When I go back to
So-
Canada, I'm like, stop. Like, oh my God, how are you today? Like, stop. Just give me my food. I don't care. Don't talk to me. Give me my food. So I've been broken a little bit in terms of the Canada experience for me. So, but China's the same, right? China, Japan, the service is really, really good. Singapore is I love Singapore, but it's very special how bad the service is here.
Yeah, but I can understand. Yeah.
Why?
I mean, you mean if you go to the hawker center or the service, if you ask something to drink or to order something.
I mean, a hawker center or restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe sometimes people are very busy, okay, and maybe they don't use a long sentence, just what you want, order something. I think for me, I can understand. But maybe just in hawker center, so not in restaurant.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It's a little bit tricky for me. I don't mind now. Now I'm okay, but at the beginning it was not easy. Yukiko's smiling because she agrees. But in Japan also is like too much, like too friendly, like too.
Oh, really?
Well, like when I go to a restaurant, Yukiko, everybody in the restaurant says welcome, right? Like everybody stops. Welcome, right? Like back to the, right? So it's a little bit like it's not real.
Yeah.
In my opinion. It's not real. So in Singapore, at least it's real.
I think, how can I say? So if we stay just at the middle point, it's good. I think too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, how can I say it? Do we have some sentence for it? So keep balance. I mean, so not too long sentence or not too short sentence.
Yeah, but we can say to find a happy medium.
Okay.
To find a happy medium.
Happy medium.
So there's this, there's Trump, and then there's the people that Trump thinks are on the left. Then there must be a happy medium between. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, but to find a happy medium.
Yeah.
Or to meet in the middle somewhere. We can meet in the middle. Yeah, that's fine. Yukiko, do you miss Japanese service?
Miss?
Do you miss like sabishi? Do you miss the service in Japan?
Miss means
Right, arigatou gozaimasu. Right, Singapore, bye-bye.
It's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, no problem. But before I started ULC, I was gonna start a service training company. Maybe I told you this before, but I don't know. But I interviewed like a bunch of restaurants and managers and servers and waiters and waitresses and customers. And in Singapore, nobody cares. They just want food. If the food is delicious, they don't care. The service is not important. Yeah, service is not important. Manager doesn't want to pay more money to the waiter or waitress. So the waiter waitress can't get more money, so they don't want to work hard, or they don't want to work extra. So nobody cares. So I stopped that business idea quickly.
Okay, but I think
Not a
in
good
my
idea.
opinion, so there are so many Singapore restaurants and also, how can I say, have a good service. So maybe just in my experience, I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, of course.
Of course.
I'm not talking. I'm more in general. But if you go to like
Yeah.
Haidi Lao, right? Like Haidi Lao, that is.
Good
I
service.
think
Haidi
it's
Lao
too
is
much
like,
for me.
yeah, maybe. But that's like every
Yeah.
restaurant in Canada. Haidi Lao.
Ah,
That's
okay.
normal.
Okay.
If my drink is empty, if my drink has 20% left in the cup, right? Like the waiter's like, oh, let me get you a new one. Or like it's always, we're like ninjas in the restaurant, right? So we're always
Okay.
watching, always making sure that you're happy, finding out that if you need anything. You know, in Singapore, I go to a restaurant and if I finish my food, my plate stays on the table, right? In Canada, it's like your food is finished, table is clean, right? Just everything taken, clean, like just, it's like constant. When I was working in a restaurant, I was only allowed maximum 3 tables. I could only serve 3 tables. That was maximum.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to give 100% focus to those 3 tables.
Yeah.
So, you know, in Singapore, there's like 1 waiter or waitress, 20 tables, right? Like running around like a crazy person. Yeah, so that I understand.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But sometimes I don't like, so I mean, if you are so visit a restaurant and the waitress always asks you mean?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Always, so are you happy?
Yeah, go away. Go away.
And go away. Like, I want to just eat my food. It's my problem.
I know. I'm the same. Me too. You're half German. That's
Okay.
joking.
No. It's okay. It's for me. It's no problem. Maybe because my parents said also. I think. Okay.
Your parents said that you're half German?
No, my parents said sometimes it's just said how can I say? Sometimes I have a cold blood. And I think, what? And my parents said, you was not like now, you know. I think, sorry.
No, that's too strong. This word is too strong. Callous means you don't care about anything.
I think I'm not so.
You're not. You're very kind. You're very nice.
Yeah.
All right, good.
You.
Sorry. Does anyone else have any questions? Nicholas, you're bored in your hotel room. Nice hotel.
Just so.
Hey, Nicholas, you are in China now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, living the dream. 14 days of quarantine.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Ah.
Emma, any question? Yukiko?
Today, no.
Good. Susan?
So.
说什么？
一般，so。
一般。Yeah, grammar is difficult. Okay, good. So if no one has any questions, does anyone have anything to say? Mike, anything? You had a question for Nicholas, sorry.
Nicholas? I have some question because you talk with Lee, you see, you talk with Yukiko, you miss waiter. In my opinion, waiter, in my opinion, miss means like or love. For example, I miss my girlfriend or miss my daughter. That's meaning. So maybe, in my opinion, maybe wrong. Miss.
Yeah, of course you can miss your wife or you miss your girlfriend or something. That's fine. But yeah, you can miss
So
You know, you can miss delicious food, you can miss Chinese food, you can miss service, you can miss anything. Yeah.
oh, miss service. I miss miss waiter is wrong.
Yeah, not miss waiter, but you could miss
Service. Okay.
service, or you could miss waiters or waitresses, like in general.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but miss isn't only romantic.
Yeah. I think romantic. Yeah. If a girl you are strange, not very familiar. If you say I miss you, she maybe she angry. That's right.
Why?
Because you are not very familiar. You are just know someday you see I miss you, maybe feels strange. In my opinion, I don't know it's true or it's false or no or true.
Like Mike, if a student said she misses me or something, then
Yeah.
I would just think, she missed my class,
Ah.
right?
Okay.
I miss
me.
your class.
Thank you. I miss having class.
Having
I
class?
miss having class. I miss teaching Actually, I don't. I like online. I like teaching online. I'm lazy. Stay home, teach online. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Hi, Susan.
Susan.
Question.
Mike, sorry, question?
Liu.
I know, Susan, you have another class. Hi,
Bye,
nice to see you.
Susan.
Okay. Good. So that's it. So thank you guys. Today was pretty easy. Wednesday, we're going to watch Modern Family.
Yuppie.
Family.
That's good.
I love it.
But Nicholas, we have to learn too, okay? We're not just gonna sit there and watch Modern Family for
Nicholas.
2 hours.
I know,
okay?
I know. I watched your video on YouTube, Learn English with Friends. Yeah.
Okay, well, we might do it. Thank you, by the way, for watching that. We might do it a little bit differently this time. We might watch a whole 20-minute episode over the hour, so it'll be a little bit more difficult. But we'll try to watch a whole episode instead of just a short clip. Let's see. Haven't decided. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
yeah, and then Friday, tomorrow Mark's talking about sports and exercise, and then Friday I'm talking about diet and exercise. So it'll be a competition. Whose video is better?
Okay.
So you
Always
guys can
better.
vote after. Yeah, I know, it's all good because it's free. Joking. So thank you guys. Thank you, Emma. You're super quiet today. I hope you're okay. You're okay?
I'm okay. I'm cooking a soup.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Make food.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you
Thank
on
you.
Wednesday. Thanks, YouTube.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
Wednesday. Bye bye.